Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the one, and it is the only MRC show that never ends. Welcome, everybody. It has been a little while since our sisters have been with you. Welcome to the final round of season 15. It does say in the title season 9, so I do apologise about that. I didn't change that earlier, so that is my apologies. That will get changed. But it is season 15, the final round of MRC-X. And we are here under the lights for a rerun of the Qatari Grand Prix. We have made a slight change. We are running player cars this evening. It was going to be F2 cars, but we have made that swap over to the F1 cars in the normal format as well this evening. But just as we get into the qualifying under the lights here, let me introduce you to the man alongside me. He is one of our stalwarts of Tier 1, one of our nice guys in the league, very fast driver, of course. It is Mr. LRL, Stefan Rach. Good evening, my friend. Are we well?
Good evening. I'm very well, and thanks for this very warm welcome. Although I have to say, I'm not really sure who you mean when you speak about fast drivers. That is really good part, but I take it as a compliment.
Definitely, my friend. Definitely, without a doubt. So are you well? Have you enjoyed a bit of the? Well, I don't know. Did you have last week off since the season finished for the tiers?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely nice to have a little break from racing, and I think after my past season, which wasn't really great to say the least, it was really good, like to, be done with this, finish this off, and recharge the batteries for the new season, which is starting really soon, and I'm really motivated to do better in that season, and I think many drivers that we're seeing out on track are feeling the same.
Yeah, I think you're right there, my friend. I think you're right. I mean, I was the same as you. Not exactly the best season last season for me either. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to next season, the Fast and Furious season we are calling it, season 16. A lot of very quick circuits on the calendar. And the team draw, ladies and gents, is actually on Monday evening for season 16. So, put that date in your diaries, and I think it's at 7:30 p.m. So yeah, put that date in your diaries, everybody, and the season 16 live team draw will be with you all. But we do have this small matter of qualifying taking place in front of us. 14 drivers on track. We are on board with the baby of the Hornets, the first one on a lap on a very red car. I'm going to say that's a Lewis Hamilton-esque tribute there. I'm going to say it's got a bright helmet on, so I'm going to say he's running with the Lewis to Ferrari switch on that one. He's probably not. He's probably hating me for it now, is Simon, but regardless, let's see what he does on his opening time at 22.4. He was very quick here, Simon, in the tier races a couple of weeks ago, so expecting a few good points from him. I think Carl Bitt is doing the same with the Ferrari and the yellow helmet. So obviously quite an iconic switch, isn't it, through Lewis to Ferrari? And I don't know if you've seen in the media the laps he's recently done in his warm-up days at Ferrari, but seems quite confident. It's quite a big story, isn't it, at the moment, building up to the new season?
Yeah, of course, really exciting, but still feels a bit strange seeing that. But of course, I guess it's of course the biggest story in the new F1 grid, because like Lewis Hamilton with Ferrari is something that people couldn't have imagined. I mean, when I heard the news about him going there, I was really surprised, to say the least. But who knows? It could really Ferrari has made a lot of changes. It could really lead to something big, and with Leclerc and Hamilton, they surely have one of the best driver lineups on the grid next season.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I don't think many people would disagree with you either with that, saying that one of the best lineups on the grid, if not the strongest. I think the early signs seem quite positive. People are talking quite a lot of positivity about that. So I think give it a few races. I think we could see Lewis come into his own and see how he adapts. And you're right, it was quite a shock to a lot of people, I think. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting season in Formula One, and hopefully it will be. I do hope, but let's go back to the racing at the moment. Dynamite on a lap on the softs. Benny, Dynamite gets it all sideways and backwards into one of the hairpins. Another very fast circuit, this, isn't it, in Qatar, and a difficult one when it comes to tyres, because the tyres around here don't last long at all. It's a very, very tricky one to get them into a window and to keep them running, isn't it? But chances of safety cars are surprisingly quite high as well.
Yeah, it's incredibly fast. I mean, you have so many corners where you just need to lift. Maybe you don't have really, the brakes are not really working a lot here, but they don't have to do that much. And if you get out of the rhythm, it just ruins your lap completely. So this is absolutely crucial around here.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, and you're right. If you can make mistakes, and your ERS battery takes quite a while to recharge as well, and the fast nature, it's mainly in this clockwise circuit. The left-handers are very, very fast. We're on board with single track going through the complex at the end of the second sector, and yeah, that is a very, very quick, very tough section, and the front left especially is the tyre that takes the most beating, and trying to keep the tyres alive and keep the heat down in them, which is unusual. We normally try and keep the heat in the tyres, but trying to balance the heat in the tyres is very, very difficult around here, and this could be one that is shaped by someone who can look after the tyres, who can look after the ERS as well, that they're going to use. So we saw some incredible racing in the tier, well, all the tiers, to be honest, when we were here a few weeks ago, and it was really close towards the end of the race, and I think there was a late safety car. That could have been the one that was brought out by me. Surprise, surprise. I got hit into a wall. No fault of my own this time, but I was trying to hit the pits and hit by another driver and sent into a wall, which brought out a late safety car. And I think there was a few people on alternate strategies and looking after their tyres, looking after a bit of ERS, and it could have hurt their chances in that race. But that is part of racing, that is the risks that we have. And let's have a quick look at the championship at the moment, and it's far from over in the championship. We have this Qatari race now, and to be honest, it's very, very tight at the top. We have had to cancel a few races, unfortunately, due to numbers dropping, but we've got very close. Smith could win the championship this evening. So could Ant. Dynamite's within a shout as well, and an outside shout is for Saviour. All of these drivers are racing with us as well. And even further back, there's a few drivers that are quite close as well. Scottish Ninja not racing tonight, so he's at a disadvantage with G-Star behind. Well, it does mean that Smith has won the Tier 3 Championship, the Challenger title, but he could win overall as well, which would be exciting for him. Had a very, very good season in the Challenger tier, and then yeah, very close with Saviour, Kid Dynamite and so that league championship isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. It could be really exciting, especially depending on strategies and seeing what could happen through the race. Good evening, Riley. Good evening, Mr. Hills. Good evening to 11 of you. Please do hit the like button. Join us in the live chat. As I said, no, it just says Season 9, S9, but I will make that change. I do apologise. But yeah, we've got some good times at the minute. Ant's really setting the pace, hasn't he, on a 21.9, and then very close with Doris and Baby Hornet. But Chris, see what Chris can do at the end of his opening soft tyre run. And he's put it in second, 22.0, so a very good lap from Mr. Bailey. But a second separating the top 8. There's a few drivers still to set a lap time. We'll go on board with Mr. Dynamite in the green machine this evening. And this is a track that you can overtake at, can't you? I mean, there's only the real one DRS zone. But we do see people side by side through turn 2 and turn 3, don't we? And moves being made later on in the lap. So it does open up a few different strategy calls.
Well, yeah, it does. So, I mean, having some fresh tires can give you a lot of more confidence and a big advantage around here. Although usually it's still a one stop.
Ooh, Dynamite 21.7. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Yeah, I was about to say a really fast lap. And the thing about it is also that the soft tires are not a tire to race on in the race around here. So the usual strategy be medium hard or hard to medium. Some don't last that long. They're just melting in the final sector, for example.
Absolutely, you are dead right there. Hans in the chat said he loves Simon's livery. That's very nice. What's the comms enjoying from the bar tonight? So, Martin's on an alcohol-free Guinness. Is that just a gin without the S? I'm in a Budweiser. I'm just on a small beer, just a light one, and some bottle of water beside me. How about yourself, Stefan? Are you enjoying a beverage this evening?
Of course I was about to say I have a Soproni here, Hungarian beer. So no, yes, I can only recommend it if you guys come to Hungary once. Really, really nice.
Very nice indeed.
No German beer actually, so it's people might be surprised, but it's true.
German beer is more of a Pilsner that you get in Germany than a standard sort of what we would class as beer in the UK?
Yeah, but I mean there's so many different sorts of beer in Germany, so but generally you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind a good Pilsner. Martin doesn't like a Budweiser. It's an easy drink, my friend. It was just for easiness. So that's the only reason I've gone with a Budweiser. There was definitely better beers out there and better options. I do agree. So, but on board with Saviour on an outlap. He's yet to set a lap time. So is BXNE or Benny. He, of course, isn't in the championship battle, Benny, but I'm sure he'll still come out and qualify. Only the last 4 minutes 50 to go. And the times are very, very tight indeed. And with the high-speed nature of this track, it is key to get on track at the right point. And the track really does rubber in throughout. And tell you what, Saviour's used quite a lot of his ERS battery in the first sector of this lap, so he may struggle towards the end. We'll keep our eyes on him. He's got a car a little bit ahead. He may have been put off by the tyre smoke into the hairpin. Coming into the right-hand long corner and goes even quicker at 21.5, beats Kid Dynamite's time, and that's what we're talking about. Coming out at the right time, the track, the evolution, and getting your eye in round here because, as you said, Saviour's invalidated his time. That's critical for him, especially in the championship. You've got an outside chance of the championship, but Ant and Kid up there, that's not what he needs in any way, shape or form. Let's have a look. Armour Red is invalidated. He is down. G-Star was up in the middle sector on his time and he's invalidated. So he's going again, but he's going to have a recharge lap this time round. Let's have a look. Single track hits the pits. Colin is on an out lap. Who else is on a lap? What about the blowhole? What is he? He is up on his first sector time by 3.5 tenths. How is this lap going to unfold in the very striking yellow and blue livery? I quite like that, must admit. One of my favourite liveries so far this evening. I just like bright colours, what can I say? For some unknown reason. Let's have a look. Second sector still 3/10 up. Didn't gain a huge amount in that middle sector, so it's all through this triple left-hander. Doesn't want to stray too far wide. Doesn't want to push it too much through the left-hander as well. Easy to run it wide. Doesn't hit the exit curve very nicely indeed. How about this final corner for Chris? Keeps it well inside the white lines. DRS opener. There's run towards line at 21.59. Oh, 4,000 behind, and that is a fantastic lap from Chris. Won't have time for another one unless he does a cool down and can go again. G-Star now. He was on his cool down and his recharge lap. What about Colin? He is up on his first sector time. This could put him in the top 6 potentially. I'm sure we're going to see a flurry of drivers leaving the pits any moment. If you look to the bottom right hand side of your screen, you will see a lot of cars leaving, but Colin even quicker through that middle sector. Personal best for the cars around him. So gain confidence from that, Colin. And he comes towards the final corner. Slight lock up, but no problem. Uses all of the track. And now the run towards the line, and he does a 22.3. Good improvement into 6th from him. What have you seen there?
Oh, G-Star just crashed. Completely lost the rear end.
Oh yeah, he's we've come on board with him. Oh, yep, there he is. From an off-board, we could just see the palm trees. Yeah, G-Star out of the session. That's really unlucky for him. And it's easy to do, isn't it? When you're pushing that much, the rear can. It's a deceptively high downforce circuit, this one, isn't it? That you think you want low wings because it's high speed, but you need that rear grip, don't you, to be able to take these corners as quickly as possible. So
yeah, I mean, it can happen. I mean, especially when you're at this stage of quality, you absolutely want to push. You want to stay on the throttle and make it flat out as possible. And when you do that, things like this can happen.
Yep, it can. It really, really can. Xavier once again using a lot of his battery down the start-finish straight. Goes a little bit wide through turn 1. Ooh, nearly invalidates his lap. He will not be happy with that turn 1. Again, like we said, trying to push that extra little bit. And nearly making a big error in that, just pushing his braking just a bit too late around there. But you can take that wider line. You can actually overtake around that outside line in the race. But a little bit squirrely in the brakes to the left-hand hairpin. What's he going to be? Through the right-hander. Takes a bit of the inside curve. It's okay through there, but can push the car a little bit wide. Decided not to really cut too much of the curbs through that middle sector. And what's his middle sector time going to be? It's a 58.8. Oh, Chris has gone fastest so far, just ahead of Ant. We're going to. And Ant slow, sorry. Oh no, Xavier will start from the back of the grid. Where's Ant? He's bailed on his. What about Baby Hornet? He improves. He's in 4th. So there's a second row.
Very close.
It is very tight, isn't it? Colin has finished his lap. Armour's coming up the last corner now. Can he improve? Can Armour jump ahead of Colin? And maybe Doris, he does. He takes 5th. Yeah. He gets ahead of Doris as well. And that's everybody now with Ant finishing his lap. So it's Chris on pole position with Ant alongside in 2nd. Kid Dynamite in 3rd. Baby Hornet, great lap from him in 4th. Armour was also very quick here a few weeks ago. He is in 5th with Doris in 6th. Colin in 7th. G-Star did retire, lost the rear, but still manages to save it in 8th. Then Single Track in 9th. Loppy in 10th. Carl in 11th, and Smith in 12th. Then on the final row of the grid will be Benny and Xavier. Well, that was an interesting qualifying, wasn't it? The lap times did come tumbling, but we saw a few of the drivers that really kind of struggled a little bit there, didn't we? Such as Xavier, and Benny didn't really set a lap, so it's not representative, but Xavier especially seemed to struggle through there.
Yeah, unusual that we see something like that happening to him, but who knows? Maybe he saw those left hands pick. He said that when he just wanted to be there too bad. Who knows? But maybe he also acted really well, and he just wants to do a lot of first down.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think you could be right with that. Yeah, just pushing that little bit too hard and really under pressure. But look at that, less than 4/10 separating the top 6 drivers. So very, very close lap times there in qualifying. And we do have a little bit of a break as usual, 5-minute interval for the drivers, and then we have 29 laps under the lights. So a little bit of a breather for everybody. But yeah, good qualifying session, that one. And just, it's good to get people's eye in, isn't it? Just keep people a little bit sharp in this off-season. Of course, as I mentioned, we've got the team draw on Monday evening. Are you looking forward to, I don't know if you'll be able to watch that. I don't know if you're taking part, Stefan, but just to see who your teammate's going to be in your team as well next season.
Of course, I'm going to be watching. It's going to be very exciting. I'm really curious which car I'm going to drive and who's going to be the unlucky one. Here's my teammate that couldn't contribute much to the Constructors' Championship last season, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
You had the honor as well already, so you know.
Yeah, we have. We were paired together a few seasons ago, weren't we? And I was fortunate. I was with Kid Dynamite last season. I've seen a little bit of the team sort of that people have chosen, but of course the draw hasn't been fully done yet. That will happen over the weekend, and we'll reveal all on Monday evening. And it is so exciting. It is always a good fun time of the season. I'll be hosting that with Mr. Bailey will be joining us, which will be lovely to have him. First time, I do believe, with that. And then Connor Hardy will be returning as well. So it's always good fun, isn't it? We always have a good fun. It's always good laugh. And everyone gets involved in Discord and in YouTube as well. So it is always really good fun. The team draw, one of the highlights of the season. And then it all kicks off on Friday, in a week's time, will be season 16's opener of MRC-X. And I think we've seen that the calendar has been, pardon me, got the hiccups now. It has been revealed, so we are opening the season in, well, it's the roller coaster, isn't it? It could be beautiful sunshine and it could be torrential monsoon wet weather in Portugal, but that's a tough season opener, I think, isn't it? It's you adapting to potentially new cars, and they do handle a little bit differently, don't they? The engine note is different as well, so you've got to sort of get used to that. I think that's it. It's going to be a difficult weekend for people, an opening week, and it's going to be a fun one, I think, in there.
Yeah, I'm really sad to miss out on that one. It's been a while since I've been in Portugal. No, I'm gonna wait even more, but yeah. But I had no idea that Chris is joining you guys on Monday. Then that only convinces me further to tune in, because it's gonna be funny for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is, isn't it? Absolutely. It always is really good fun. And, of course, we have the boss man, Mr. Single Track, as well, joining and doing his marvellous graphics work that he does each season. And he'll be putting those into the Discord as well as the teams and the drivers are revealed. And it's always great to have him with us. So, yeah, definitely something to look forward to next week. But, yeah, this one now, of course, people have used a few sets, only maybe 2 sets potentially, for most on these soft tyres through this qualifying session. No one really set a lap on the mediums. So they'll have plenty of sets of the harder 2 compounds available for this race. And as you said, the one stop is generally the best way to go round here. But the chance of safety cars can easily turn that into a two-stop. Maybe bring the softs in. But I think you're right. You said, of course, maybe just using the mediums or the hard tyres is possibly the best strategy to go around here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're gonna see. Maybe at the front, more drivers are gonna be on mediums, but I could imagine like Ben and Xavier, like really fast last grid row, that they're gonna put on the hards and try to stay out as long as they can and do the overcut on some cars ahead of them. Um, I haven't heard anything, but I have a guess that the weather is not gonna be a factor here, so I'm surprised to see some rain.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty clear at the moment. We did have, was it here? I think I can't remember which race it was. There was a race. I think it was Tier 2 maybe that actually had intermediates for the qualifying session around here, which was so bizarre and so strange that it really, I think, confused the commentators and, well, definitely it confused the drivers massively.
Well, that must be, yeah, especially on this track, must be weird. Like, I don't know. I guess it would feel driving would feel completely different, as if you're on a different track.
Yeah, it must do. I was lucky I wasn't on track, so I haven't tried that. Martin's livery looks like it's gone for a night brawn, so like a role reversal of the brawn. We'll come back and have a look at that, I'm sure, during the formation lap, which will be going in a couple of seconds' time. Colin says it's not his best track, but he's trying to have a good race. Absolutely, my friend. Exactly that, and all to play for in a lot of the championship battles. Some players going for pride, but I think the ready up has just been announced in the Discord, so I'm sure we'll be going very soon. There we are. So, everybody on the grid, let's have a quick look at the tyres. Where are we going? There we are. So, as you rightly say there, Stefan, decent little split. Whoops, Chris just had to get a little bit happy and hit a wall. Luckily, damage isn't on in the formation lap. But yeah, quite a good split. Chris is on the hard tyres. A lot of the drivers behind on the mediums. Then we've got a good split of hard and medium tyres further back. So that could be an interesting one to see how the warm-up is for the hard tyres and how quickly they can come in and sort of keep pace with the medium runners around, especially with Chris and having the quick guys behind that he's got. Of course, Chris no slouch, is he? He's a very fast driver. We've got Anton, Kid Dynamite and Baby Hornet as well, and Armour's very quick round here. So that's going to be an interesting one for Chris, see what he can do in the opening few laps, really, to see what he can keep behind. I'm just having a look at trying to go to single tracks night brawn livery. Oh, I do like that. That's quite nice. Yeah, the grey and the gold. I like it. It's very smart.
Most liveries tonight are looking very nice. I like all of them basically.
Yeah.
Kind of unique, but really nice colors.
No, I agree. I do agree. I did see the V-carb livery on someone's car, so I've skipped that one. But it was a nice livery, actually. Yeah. It was a nice livery, though, that they did. So, I mean, you can't really... I can't say much bad about it. But yeah, you're right. Everyone else has got very, very nice liveries this evening. So, this is going to be very interesting. See what Chris can do off the start. See...
Sorry for interrupting you. Just saw the car's livery. It looks like a Ferrari. It's really nice with the sponsor on the side pod.
It does look nice. Yeah, I agree. I did see Carl's earlier, and it does look very nice as well. So does Simon's as well. Baby Hornets looks very nice as well. The Ferrari-inspired livery, absolutely. So, drivers lining up on the grid. Hoping everybody can park in their allotted spots. Got Doris and single track. I think that might be coming through. But here we go, folks. For the final time in Season 15, we have 3, 4 and 5 red lights and MRC-X. Let's go racing. It's a good start from and alongside Chris Bailey. Kid Dynamite got a little bit boxed in. Chris is already down to second, but Baby Hornet shut down by Kid Dynamite. He's looking at the inside of Chris Bailey. He's on the hard tyres. Don't forget, struggling, you can see, to get the turn in. But and Dynamite are through on Chris into turn 1. Baby Hornet holds it into 4th. Maybe having a look at the exit at turn 2 on Chris. Can't really quite make it go, but Chris is coming back. A Kid Dynamite this side by side coming into turn 4 as Chris got the inside line. He's going to be struggling for the grip just about. The Kid has to go wide, but Chris is through. Might have to concede that player's back. We'll have to see this. Cars side by side further back as well. That's bit on the inside. I think it was bit an obvious Loppy, actually. Oh, there's been a collision.
Yeah.
That's Loppy, and he's been with, I think it was Colin. Benny's coming through on that one as well. I don't know if who got caught up in all that melee, not 100%, but Doris and Single Track have lost a couple of spaces between them. Smith as well, poor start from him. He's down in 14th. There he is at the back of the pack. Not sure exactly what happened, but not sure if there's any damage. We're going to try and keep our eye on any of these cars. Single Track's car looks okay as well. Everyone looks okay at the moment. We had a little bit of contact, but up front, let's go back to the leaders because Ant has already got a 1.2 second gap on Chris Bailey and Kid. Already got a really good exit from the final corner. DRS is now enabled this lap, but they won't get it, of course, till next time round. Kid on the inside to turn 1. Armour's having a little look at Baby Hornet. Can't make it happen, but Kid now gets through on Chris and back up into second place. Important for him on the medium tyres. Baby Hornet sniffing as well. There's a yellow flag, sector 1. I don't know who that might be for. I think Single Track's had a moment somewhere. But Doris and G-Star also having a battle just a bit further back. But this battle in the top 5, top 6. Saviour. Where did Saviour come from? I did not see Saviour come through the field. He must have had a fantastic first lap. And he's there at the back of the top 6.
Yeah, I told you he's on the first start. I mean, I think picking the medium for the start was a very good decision because he could overtake many cars ahead of him that were on hard side. But surely he also benefited from the little accident
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he could have avoided that the collision that we saw with Loppy, and I think Doris and maybe Single Track was caught up in it as well. And yeah, you're right. I think Benny got caught a little bit in it, and Saviour managed to go around it and avoid. But I tell you what, Chris is struggling a little bit for pace at this moment in time. Now, Baby Hornet makes the move, but is Chris going to be vulnerable to Armour coming through on the inside and Saviour trying to have a look around the outside? This is going to be very, very close. But I tell you what, Chris is hanging it out and he's still pushing on. But look at this, Saviour's trying to be opportunistic, and I think Armour's had a moment. I don't know if there was contact, but Armour's now dropping a lot of places, and he's dropped right down now to 9th. That's horrible for Armour. But Kid has really closed that gap to Ant. That gap was well over a second when Kid got through on Chris, and he's pulled us. Well, there he is, right up the back of Ant already. Kid looking very racy at this point, and Baby Hornet, Chris and Saviour still there as well. But I think Chris is just struggling on the hard tyres at this moment in time.
Yeah, he's struggling to stay within the DRS window. I'm not really sure whether he was still inside. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll have a look, see if the wing he didn't. Yeah, you're right. So that Saviour makes the move. Quite an easy one for him, but I'll tell you what, Kid's got through, and Ant's under pressure from Baby Hornet as well. Kid Dynamite now takes the lead on lap 4. Baby Hornet. Tell you what, this is fantastic from Simon. I don't want to curse him, but he's got the Ferrari power. And he is really pushing on the back of Ant and Dynamite. And now he's going to have Saviour for company in a few corners' time, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully, for Chris's sake, he'll want to keep up with this top four. Doesn't want to be cast adrift, because then it can be a very difficult race if you are outside of the DRS. Look at Colin. He's now 4 seconds back with a very big train of cars behind him. He's got Loppy, Armour, who had that half spin early on, Doris, G-Star and Benny as well. And this is where the contrasting strategies and the tyres come in, doesn't it now? Because lap 4, the hard should start working that little bit better. And if you can use your battery a bit better... Oh, what happened there? What happened to Doris? Oh, had a spin. Oh, and he's lost it again. Oh, that's a damage to his wing.
Oh, no.
He was having a really good qualifying. He's lost half of his front wing. Oh, that's heartbreak for Doris. He will have to pit. Oh, just got back to Dynamite. Very, very squirrely from the final corner. Did well to hold it. On this push to set the fastest lap. Did and get the DRS. He did, but Baby Hornet got the slipstream. Baby Hornet into second place and takes Ant. This is massive for the championship. But great move from Hornet, and Saviour's there. Chris has dropped off the back. I don't know if he had a moment somewhere. Doris pitted in 10 seconds as well for speeding.
Who would have thought that in lap 5, Saviour, who started last, would be basically a second behind the leader. Incredible stuff.
And they're on the same tyres as well. Exactly. You are right. And he is, look at this, we've got a fantastic onboard. Well, we did have an absolutely fantastic onboard view there. Therefore was given us of Saviour, and this battle ahead to show how close he is. There is a great battle coming back in the outer reaches as well from 6th to 10th, but I really don't think I can leave this. Who's that that's gone round? That would be Smith's had a moment. I think it is in the middle sector. That's cleared up. He's still going. Now then, this is going to be interesting. What can Baby Hornet do about Kid Dynamite? He's got the DRS. He's moved to the inside. Baby Hornet has got it. And look at this in the background. Saviour's going to have a look at Anthony. He broke himself. They're side by side in the background. We're going to have a look at Saviour. Got through into third. He has, but Ant's fighting this one back. Can't do it. Saviour into third. Baby Hornet in the lead.
Well, incredible scenes happening here. I mean, the top four with all within, like, Ant would still be in the DS range of Baby Hornet, of the leader. By the way, we see Baby Hornet in the lead. When I was commenting, he was always telling me how bad he is. He's just leading the race.
I know.
Drivers like keeping Saviour and Ant and Chris as well, who's gotten back a little bit, although he's gonna have the tire advantage later. And he's getting in the meetings.
Yeah, that's going to be it, isn't it? That's going to be the thing for Chris. He's going to probably want a green flag race, isn't he? He's not going to want any safety cars in the next 5 laps or so. He is definitely not going to want any of that, because this will just give a free stop for those on these medium tyres. But you're right, you know, I mean, I said Simon was very quick round here and he's proven it, but he's got a train of cars behind him, and I think he's going to be vulnerable. There goes Kid. What about Saviour? What about Ant and Simon? Nothing he can really do about it. Just defend as best he possibly can. And Saviour now into second, Simon into third, just all down to the DRS down that start-finish straight. Nothing he could do with everybody that close. But he can now, Stefan, he can use this lap to recharge his battery a little bit and keep with everybody and mount an attack again.
Yes, of course. I mean, we used to be at all.
Oof.
You almost lost the car. Yeah, and too, but yeah, but they're still in one single DRS train, so it's really important to keep up with it and don't fall out. But at this stage, we know on this game, he always has a bit of a DRS train and always tactical. You don't necessarily want to be in it. That's the most important thing. The most important thing is to stick with the pack stage of the race.
Yeah, no, exactly that, yeah. And Chris, with everybody battling now, these medium tyres look like they're going through a bit of a difficult phase now, because Chris has just taken 0.7 of a second out of them on this lap alone. Just outside of the DRS, though. Ooh, Xavier had a little look at Kidd, but Kidd holds him off into turn 1. Benny is now through to 7th, and we're battling with Colin and Loppy further back. But yeah, Chris lost about 3-4 tenths down in that first sector, just due to the DRS and the overall speed. Evening, Bobo, thank you for joining us, my friend. Oh, Smith gets the first penalty of track limit warnings. But yeah, this is incredible, these top 4. And then Chris, we'll see, I'm sure, will start to close them in a little bit now, because those hard tyres will have that bit more grip, especially in this middle sector. And the final sector as well. This is where I think we'll see Chris start to just come into play that little bit more on the hard tyres, as the mediums just go past their best. He's closed a few tenths in the middle sector so far. What can you do in the final sector? But Xavier, very, very close. So is Ant to the back of Dynamite. Oh, Simon goes a little bit wide. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. That's Doris. He's had a moment. I think he's had a spin somewhere. But is Xavier close enough into turn 1? Pulls out the slipstream quite late, and he's late on the brakes inside line. Gets the car stopped and rotated and gets it on the power. Kid can't come through. Xavier, it's taken him 9 laps, Stefan, to come from the back of the grid to lead.
Yeah, did you think I was joking when I said he's going to the I thought, to be honest, it's the first talent for the whole race and not for the first third of the race. But all right.
Well, yeah, you pretty much got it right. Benny's up to 7, so he's starting his charge. Yeah, I didn't. I'm surprised with Xavier that, he made those little errors in qualifying. But then, yeah, he's had a little bit of luck, granted, with the incident ahead that he managed to get through unscathed while everyone was dicing and had to slow down for. But yeah, he's managed to now get to the lead of this race, and we've got Chris again just outside of the DRS. Doris has DNF'd in the pits. He's having a difficult race, but Chris again just tantalisingly outside of the DRS detection point. So he's going to have to wait a little bit longer, but I tell you what, Kid Dynamite's not waiting. He's gone around the outside of Xavier's and going to try and have a look around the outside into turn 1 as well. Where is he? There he is, but Xavier gets fantastic traction right to exit turn 1 and has nothing he can do about it. And Baby Hornet's patiently waiting in 4th, waiting for his opportunity to come back around again, which I'm sure it will. But great racing from everybody. Kid now retaking the lead. And all this battling with everybody is keeping Chris about that second. He's just closed it in a little bit again in this first sector. And this is... Oh, Ant's made a mistake. Is Simon trying to have a look on the inside through there? But he has. But, Ant's quick enough. He can't. Simon can't force his way through that.
Well, that was Chris back in play.
Yeah, only half a second back off Baby Hornet now. So we said that... Yeah, go on.
It's obviously because of this little infighting we saw, but on the other hand, maybe we are also reaching this part of the race where his hard tires are becoming faster. Or as we saw Kid getting 3-second time penalty, that's crucial at the end of the race.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You're definitely right there. That's surprising for Kid, but yeah, 3-second penalty. Easy to do around here. As I've seen, Loppy is one of the first to pit. from position.
Ben has finally moved up into P6. He didn't get through the field as fast as Xavier did, which was also due to his first tires, the hard tires. But yeah, he's got like.
Ooh, and he's got 3 seconds as well of a penalty. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? You mentioned that with Benny, just seeing he's got 5.5 seconds to close the gap to this top 5, and it's going to be interesting to see the speed that he's got, and can he hold off Armour, who is very quick around here, and Colin as well. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what he can do with those gaps. And like you say, he's on the hard tyres. Let's just bring that up for everybody. So Chris and Benny, the top 2 on the hard tyres. Colin on the hards as well, so he could be starting to look a bit racy. He was soaking bit and single track, slightly on their own in a sort of a no man's land, unfortunately, at this moment in time. But with Loppy pitting at the end of lap 10, I wonder when we're going to start seeing these top boys start to pit as well, especially the top 4 and the mediums, of who's looked after their tyres better and who can go that extra lap. But you said it earlier, I think in qualifying, that you know the undercut, the extra grip that you get can be really, really strong around here. You could get a good second, even 1.5 seconds, maybe a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely a possibility.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be interesting to see who blinks first. But Chris is now getting very racy, but it looks like he's just sort of taking his time a little bit. He's not forcing the issue on Simon, but just patiently there on the hard tyres. But we're on board with this lovely onboard. I've lost it again. Typical for that fantastic onboard shot that we get from broadcast mode of Xavier, and he's close G-Star with 3 seconds as well now. So a few of these, as the tyres are starting to wear a little bit, grip's not quite there for the drivers, so just trying to take the same speeds as they did the lap or 2 laps before and struggling for the overall grip. But is anybody going to pit? Xavier's the first one to pit. Xavier from second position. He's pit at the end of lap 12. So where will he come out? He may come out. He'll come out around G-Star, maybe around bit. So that's going to be crucial of where he comes out the pits. If he can get those tyres working, and he's going to be behind bit. Just come out, I think, ahead of single track, looking at the tyres and the deltas below. He will just. So he's got a bit of free air there, Xavier, so you can get the hard tyres working. It's going to be interesting to see who follows then. What would you do in this situation, Stefan? Would you try to keep them going, these mediums, a little bit longer, or would you decide to follow and answer as quick as possible?
I think I would answer as quick as possible. Remember, DRS can be crucial on this game. Having it and not having it is a huge factor. I speak from experience, and I don't think when you have the hard tires on them being 1 or 2 laps, or maybe also 3 laps, faster is huge. Not as big as with soft or medium tires. So
yep, and it's Kid who's pit.
He pits.
Yeah. Well. That's interesting. I mean, we know Ant's very good on his tyres. Simon's been quite patient with his attacks as he goes to the inside. On Ant, he got a bit more slipstream. Oh, I think there's a little bit of contact. Ant on the back wheel of Baby Hornet, but Baby Hornet makes the move and he takes the lead again. Oh, a little bit wide. That may have been a warning. Hopefully not for Baby Hornet. He'll be not wanting too many of those. But where will Kid leave the pits? That is the key thing. He's going to be very close with Xavier. Let's go and have a quick look. There's Xavier, there's Kid. Xavier goes around the outside. Xavier does just. He's just got through. So that undercut cost him, gave him about a second, I think, overall. So then there's only 2.8 to single track, who hasn't pitted yet. And I don't know if any of the top three, especially the top two drivers, are watching this. I know Ant's got it on because he was talking earlier and it popped up in the YouTube chat. But if they have, it's going to be interesting to see if anybody reacts now to that, because they're coming up to, in the final sector, top three, nose to tail, once again. Chris is probably going to be wanting these two to pit and out of his way. Baby Hornet has now pitted. Ant has continued on his way. He got DRS, but Chris got a better drive from the final corner. And Chris Bailey, the pole sitter, took him a few laps to get the hard tyres working, and once he did, he's clawed himself back and now retakes the lead. He's going to be wanting to use the rest of the life in those tyres now to push on to minimise the difference between Dynamite, Saviour and Baby Hornet. Where is Baby Hornet leaving? He pits. He's lost quite a bit of time actually to Dynamite. He's lost 2 seconds to Dynamite and Saviour by pitting that little bit later. And that shows the tyre drop off, doesn't it, really, in those 2 laps? So let's have a look. Will Ant follow him? But again, Ant's going to fall back just again a little bit further. He's doing well to stay with Chris, must be said. But Benny, we mentioned that gap was 5.5 seconds. It's now only 3.6, so Benny really on a charge. And he's bringing Colin along with him as well quite nicely. So this is working well for Colin. But Benny closing that gap. Ant stays out once again. Do you think this is a bit long, you reckon, for Ant to go a half race distance?
Meanwhile, I'm not really sure whether he might want to try a medium strategy. Why would you make medium stronger than the hard tires? Well, we know that Ant is insanely good when it comes to saving tires, so, and he's still sticking with grip, although he had a lot of understeer now. But as long as he can stay within that 1 second and get the DRS, it might not be too bad. But I mean, you saw what happened to Baby Hornet. Came out with it and didn't have the DRS from Xavier and Kid anymore. And now he's 3 seconds or 4 seconds off of them. But they are giving each other the discipline and they're taking cars ahead. So that pit stop really, that in and out lap really hurt Baby Hornet. So here's for Ant another now.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah, you're right. Baby Hornet 2.7 back. Sabian Dynamite now through on Bit, who hasn't pitted. Ooh, runs very wide. That might be a warning for him. Let's have a look. And now will be coming across. Still hasn't pitted. You're right about this. Be interesting if he does try that medium to soft strategy. I mean, if anyone, as you say, can do it, it's probably going to be Ant. But Benny now is really flying along. He is only 2 seconds off the back. This is bringing Benny into play at the end because he's on the hard tyres as well. So he'll pit for them, probably for the mediums, just like Chris will. Oh, Baby Hornet 3 second time penalty. But Bit's pitted, so that's helped Baby Hornet free him up. He's now got 3.8 seconds to the back of Saviour and Dynamite, who have already caught G-Star, who hasn't pitted. He's gone long as well on the medium tyres. He looked like he was really struggling for any kind of grip and any kind of traction. But it's going to be interesting to see what G-Star can do about these two. If he holds them up at all, we'll keep an eye on the gap to Baby Hornet in the clear air. Or if G-Star's still got enough overall pace in his car through this very fast section. Because Kid...
Chris pitting... no, they're both pitting now. Chris and so...
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see the tyres. We've got that on the screen. You'd imagine it'll be mediums for Chris, but I tell you what, Xavier nearly had a look into the final corner onto G-Star. Such was the grip difference.
Yeah, they're losing a lot of time behind G-Star. He's staying out a bit longer than that.
Yes, but this is going to be crucial to see where. Well, I don't even know who to ride on board with, because there's a few cars coming out the pit lane as well. Baby Hornet's got through as well on Chris and Ant, so those two staying out later has hurt them. But Chris on the medium tyres will have the overall pace, you would have to say. But yeah, Xavier and Kid Dynamite both got through on G-Star, so now they've got only the top two who haven't pitted ahead of them, and a good gap of 17.7 seconds, and the battle recommences. But we've got Baby Hornet a little bit further back.
I have to say, I'm not sure if I overlooked it or not, but Colin is sticking really well with them, really letting himself be pushed by him, and he's really good as well, so maybe Colin's going to play a role as well. I mean, many drivers, including them, already have time penalty. Yeah, both are pitting out, so now.
Yeah. Well, they lost quite a lot of time in that last lap to save your single track. Now the latest with a time penalty in 12th. Kind of a lonely race for him, unfortunately, for the boss man. But Baby Hornet really caught G-Star. There's been a collision. Oh, Baby Hornet managed to stop it from the wall, but oh, that was really unlucky. Really unlucky. That's horrible for Hornet. Lost a lot of time. Will come out now between just ahead of Benny, but Benny has, like we said, brought himself into it massively now. Barely got through on G-Star after the collision that he had there with Baby Hornet, and now Bailey into third. Clean air. G-Star 18 laps on those mediums. They will feel horrible. Damn, every single driver's pitted.
So much understeer by now. And it's going to be held on a lot from him now. Yeah, he can't even get ahead.
Yeah, well, I think one of the cars there, I don't know if Benny made a move suddenly on Baby Hornet. Not sure what happened. Didn't see it. Smith, I think it might be single track. That single track that was out the way. No, it wasn't. Sorry, single track. That was Smith. But yeah, Benny's now through on Baby Hornet. So Benny up into 6th. That will become 5th. Not far away at all. But this is, look at this. 4 cars abreast coming into the final corner. Oh, look, this Benny's trying to go on the outside. He's got the medium tyres. He's got so much grip. Baby Hornet. Oh, lucky Simon. We're going to have to look on board and, because I have no idea. There goes G-Star in the background. Here comes Benny down the middle of them both. Benny now on the outside. Can he take 2? There's Baby Hornet as well. Where's Benny gone? There he is. Wow, he flew past. Benny is absolutely flying. Wow. All this battling as well has actually brought Colin and Armour Red back into play as well in the background. They're not done yet. Top 9.
No, they're not, but now they have ahead of them. Colin, they're trying to get fucking family down the inside, but...
Ooh, Colin tried in the hairpin as he got the traction on the exit. He's got the right-hander. There's been contact. I think that hit G-Star. He's managed to not go around, but he's now lost his place to Armour. I think this is time for G-Star to pit. Oh, he has got no grip on those. Even Smith had to take avoiding action, even though he is ghosted. And he had to take avoiding action there. So now let's go back to, well, the leaders, shall we? Because Chris, faster tyres, 3 seconds adrift from the top 2, who are in DRS range of each other. So they could potentially pull themselves along, couldn't they now? And really make it difficult. Wow, Kid Dynamite, fastest lap on those hard tyres. I think Benny might beat that. There he does. But this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting to see what the top 2 now, if they can pull away from Chris and Benny, see what he can do on the mediums, what he's going to do with Ant and Baby Hornet behind him. So there's quite a bit to play for in the next 8 laps. It's not over at all, is it?
No, I mean, you have Chris and Ben pushing Xavier and Kid. Xavier, for now, he can play it a bit more tactically because he doesn't have to fight Kid since he's without time penalty. But if Chris and Ben catch up, yeah, I think gonna look a bit different.
Yep, it is, isn't it? And of course, we go back to the championship as well, don't we? That's the other thing we've sort of missed because of the action. That Kid is 9 points behind Ant. So Ant needs to finish. I'm trying to work my maths here. There's no fastest lap point. So Ant needs to finish third. No, sorry. Ant needs to finish in the top 2. Or he needs to, if Dynamite wins. Now, as it stands, Dynamite has 3-second penalty. That would put him potentially, let's say, third. So that difference is 15 to 10. So that would be enough for Ant if he finishes in 5th. But Benny's got 3 seconds, so that would be 4th. So Ant's doing okay at the minute. Ant's doing what he needs at this moment in time. But then, to really complicate it, Xavier would inherit, as it stands, the win. He is only 11 points behind Ant. So Xavier would actually win the championship ahead of Kid and Ant as well, by my maths. I think that's right. So it's quite complicated. There's a lot. Chris is one that can really play a factor in this. So could Benny. I think Ant's made had a bit of a moment somewhere. He's now dropped to 2.5 seconds behind Benny, but he's on the hard tyres. But Chris has started to close in. You know, only 1.7 off the back here, so this could hurt Dynamite in his championship. Because of that 3-second gap, well, Chris has now just lost a bit of time down the start-finish straight because of the DRS. Benny now is closing on Chris. So Benny is... He could gain a few places in the championship, actually, as well. I think. Yeah, he could gain a couple of places as well, ahead of Single Track and a G-Star as well, potentially. So Benny's got a few places to go. He could jump to 9th in the standings with a good result, but he's got 3-second penalties and struggling on the hard tyres. He's dropped a lot. Just not working for him.
No, he's actually losing a bit of ground. But yeah, I think he will the best for him, I guess.
Sorry, I'm just struggling to hear you a little bit there, mate. You might have to turn your microphone up just a touch.
Oh.
Sorry, I was struggling to hear you.
Struggling a little bit. It was not the best.
No problem. I'll tell you what, Benny is there. Benny's on the back of Chris. This could be a move. And it is. DRS wide open for Benny. And he now gets into the top 3. And Chris just needs to stick with him now. Play this long game again. He's been very good in that opening stint. Kept his hard tyres alive and brought them back in very nicely. But if he can use Benny to drag himself towards the top, this could be a podium as well for Chris. This could be a potential second for Chris, which, after starting on pole, choosing the harder tyres to start, that would be a good result, I would say, for him, and Baby Hornet and Colin having a good battle as well further back.
Well, it's good to see Ben catch up, not at some point, but right now in this lap. Yeah, he's within the DRS already.
Yeah, and Chris has dropped out of the DRS. Yeah, Chris may have had a... Yeah, he could have had a moment, Chris, but he is quite good in this part of the circuit as well. This final sector is where Chris is quite strong. We saw him earlier in the race close that gap, and he has done a little bit now to within that second, which is all important for Chris if he wants to keep on the back. 3 seconds, though.
Oh. Well,
This is...
good news for Xavier.
It is. It is. This is music to Xavier's ears in terms of the championship battle. Xavier now looking to the inside with the DRS on Kid Dynamite. Gets the move done early. But I tell you what, Benny's not out of this as well. Don't forget medium tyres for him. And the two drivers start at the back of the grid on lap 25 and now first and third with half a second separating them.
Yeah, it shows how incredibly good they are.
It does, yeah.
I mean, we all know, especially Ben, we all know how fast he had. He would have gotten a quickly through traffic as Xavier. It would have been another story because we're leading by 40 seconds now. Although the table is very fast. So he messed up the qualifying. I mean, I don't know, but I have a guess that there were some clear words being exchanged between him and his girlfriend, and now he knows he has to make up for it.
Yeah.
I guess she's now proud of him again. So.
Exactly.
She's also his race engineer and everything, so it's
oh, look at this though. We've got Benny. Has he on the inside though? Chief Kid's gone down the outside. Benny on the inside of Xavier. Xavier's trying to hold it on, but Benny's got the move. Xavier's not giving this up into turn 2. Xavier's got the inside. There may have been a little bit of contact. Tried to give the move, Xavier. Benny does get through in the end. Oh, there's still a bit of fighting. There's still a bit of contact. Benny is not giving this one up and now gets through. That's not what Xavier needs at all. This is still advantage Xavier in terms of the championship. But what I think, something that I think is going to be important. I mean, Chris is now closed back up to this because of the battling. It's going to be the 3-second penalties. We've got them on screen. Those 3 seconds definitely would. Will Chris back off at the end and help Ant and other good friends? Or will he still push on? And it would be, he would at this point not lose the place to Ant. So Ant would be 5th. Xavier would still win. And that, I think, by my maths, would be enough for Xavier to win the championship. I think I'm right. What Dynamite need? Dynamite, for him to win the championship, is for everything to finish where it is now. But he's fighting with Benny.
But he has to concede it for now.
But Kid is ahead of Xavier in the championship, but the gap difference to those two is 2 points. I'm trying to do a lot of working out here. It was 9 to the leader, so Dynamite is second, that is 18 points. Then we've got 50 top. That wouldn't be enough. As it stands, if it finished where it does now, it wouldn't be enough because Kid would take third, which is 15 points. Ant would be on 10 points, and Ant would beat Dynamite by 4 points. Xavier would take the win, and I honestly think that would probably do the championship for Xavier. I think 2-point difference for maybe. I think so. I think that's how it would work. So I mean, we've got 2 more laps to go. It's very close. Ant's dropped off the back of Chris. I don't think that the hards have worked for him. Have they really? Everyone, I mean, they have for Kid and Xavier, but Benny and Chris just look better on those mediums.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's already a lap, and Ben is not able to break away from the pack.
No, they're not.
still winning the race.
Are we going to see last lap heroics? Are we going to see any moves and potentially desperate moves, you could call it, on the last lap? There's some corner, and Hornets had a moment. Collins got through. I think he lost the rear a little bit on the exit of the hairpin. Bit and Loppy still having a good little battle. Loppy, oh, there he is. The two red cars. I got completely confused because they're very similar liveries between the two of them. But we can't leave this battle before the last lap commences. This is for the championship. Xavier, I think, by my math, is in the driving seat at this moment in time. But how is his exit out the final corner? It's not the best. It is not the best exit at all. I don't think he can challenge Kidd, but Kidd, is he going to be close enough to challenge Benny? Benny goes for the inside line to go defensive into turn one. Kidd's going to try and hold him around the outside and keep the speed and keep the pace up, but Benny still has enough in his tyres to keep going. Kidd's maybe trying to switch back. There's no room for Xavier at this moment in time. Chris is all over the back of him. How many times have we said that over the last 15 seasons or so in MRC? With Chris and Xavier nose to tail, battling in MRC-X and in Tier 1 in seasons gone by. This is it, folks. The final lap of Season 15 in MRC-X. Is it going to be Xavier that could take the championship ahead and steal it away from Ant, who has no answer to the top four? We've had some incredible fights all the way through this race. It has been a fantastic race from everybody. Full green race as well. No hint of virtual safety cars, no hint of safety cars. It has been absolutely 100% flat out from all of these drivers, unfortunately. Oh, Dynamite goes very, very wide. Is he going to try and make a move out the final corner? He's trying to switch back to get the straighter car to get the move done. Is he going to have enough with the DRS? Benny's run out of DRS. Oh, he just gets it to the line, and Xavier does pip it and win it. Look at the gaps. Benny and Kidd were 0.46 of a second over the line. Xavier got it due to the penalties. Chris will be in fourth. Ant will be in fifth. That's... I can't work the points out, to be honest, folks. I think that is Xavier's the champion. I think Xavier is the champion. I really do. Colin, though, in sixth. Great race from him. Unlucky from Baby Hornet. Had a bit of contact early on and nearly spun in the wall. I think that just sort of set him back a little bit and into the clutches of Colin. They had a really good fight through the dying stages as well. Armour in eighth. Bit beats Loppy into ninth and 10th. They had a good fight as well, the two Scarlet cars. Difficult race for single track. Not one he'll probably remember or want to remember. Very lonely race, I think. Got caught up in a bit of a battle early on in that race, and G-Star is finishing the race in the pits. Just because. And then Smith will be our last finish. Unlucky for Doris as well. But I think, I'm just going to work this out. In fifth you get 10 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. And the win is 25. So that is a 15-point swing. And Xavier was 11 behind. I think Xavier is now the MRC-X Elite Champion for Season 15.
Once again.
It is once again. It's been a little while, but
I mean, and
yeah.
How did he get that title? Skipping qualifying, doing a last first challenge. I mean, did it with style.
Of course, you're right. You are definitely right. Yes, last on the grid, gets the game's driver of the day, and I think probably ours as well. I would have to say. I think. From last on the grid.
There can be no other option today.
I think you're right. Close would be Benny, I think, to take second. He was 13th on the grid. That was just a fantastic race, wasn't it? What a close to the season that was from all of the drivers. That was... kept us going all night, that one. That was fantastic.
Yeah, what can I add? I mean, you name it. What an end to the season of incredible stuff. Like, you just have to see how close the top four were across the line, and yeah, it's just incredible. And
It
not
was.
because of a safety car, there was not even a VSC.
Absolutely,
Pure
yeah.
racing.
It was. It really was pure racing. I think Chris on the alternate strategy did really, really well as well. He dropped back early on and then fought his way back into contention. Benny from 13th was slow. He kept saying he's not making his way through the traffic, but when he did, he was so fast and really closed those gaps down and nearly, well, it was first over the line by 0.46 of a second. But just those 3 seconds for him and Kid Dynamite, those 3 seconds in the end actually probably cost Kid the championship. That's the fine margins. Wow.
Really, I have to. Well, I'm not. Yeah, maybe you're right. Wow, incredible.
It was absolutely fantastic race. Congratulations, Saviour, on the Elite Challenge, Elite MRC-X title once again. Very, very well deserved. Absolutely. Congratulations as well to every single MRC-X driver as well this season. You've given us so much fantastic racing. And all that's left to say is to you, Stefan. Thank you so much for joining me for this final one of the season. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Well, I agree with you. It was so much fun, and also for me a huge pleasure to be back with you for this occasion. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate that, my friends. And with you, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for watching and taking part. As mentioned, that is season 15 over now. We will have season 16 the team draw will be in 3 days' time, Monday the 27th, 7:30 p.m. live here, of course. Where else? On the MRC YouTube channel. So please do join me and my guests and people on track as well, of course, as we reveal all for the next season, the Fast and Furious season that will come. So thank you all for watching. We will see you in a few days' time. Have a lovely weekend and good night, folks.